The alien research ship Star Seeker hung motionless in Earth's orbit, its sensors working overtime to process the impossible data before them. Captain Reed of the Galactic Research Council stared at the readings with all four of his eyes widened in disbelief. "This can't be correct," he whispered to his science officer. "Run the scans again." The readings didn't change. The planet below them was, by all scientific measures, a Class 12 death world. The gravity was crushing at 9.8 meters per second squared, nearly twice what most civilized species considered comfortable. The atmosphere was thick with oxygen, a highly reactive and dangerous gas. Temperature swings between regions ranged from a blistering 50 degrees Celsius to a freezing -50 degrees Celsius. But what truly shocked them wasn't the planet's harsh conditions. It was the billions of life signs moving about on its surface, going about their daily lives as if they weren't living on one of the most dangerous planets in known space. "Captain," the communications officer called out, "we're receiving a transmission from the surface." The main screen flickered to life, showing the human male in what appeared to be some kind of research facility. He smiled warmly at them, seemingly unbothered by the fact that he was making first contact with an alien species. "Hello there. I'm Dr. Tom Miller, Earth's Chief of Xenoscience Relations. We've been tracking your ship since it entered our solar system. Welcome to Earth." Captain Reed had to suppress a shudder as he watched a massive window behind Dr. Miller show waves crashing against cliffs during what appeared to be a thunderstorm. These humans were living right next to an endless body of water that could swallow cities whole. "Dr. Miller," Reed began carefully, "are you aware that you're living on what we classify as a Class 12 death world?" Tom laughed, a sound that caught the aliens off guard with its warmth. "Oh, is that what you call it? We just call it home. Would you like to come down and see for yourselves? We have excellent facilities for visitors." The crew looked at their captain in horror. "Go down there? Into that gravity? Those storms?" But scientific curiosity won out over fear. After several hours of preparation and multiple gravity adjustment procedures, Captain Reed and two brave crew members made their way to the surface in a heavily shielded shuttle. As they stepped out of their ship wearing protective suits, they were met by Dr. Miller, who was wearing nothing but what he called a light jacket because it was a bit chilly at 15 degrees Celsius. "Sorry about the weather," Tom said casually as thunder boomed overhead. "Spring can be a bit unpredictable." The aliens watched in amazement as humans walked past them in even lighter clothing, some even carrying small offspring in their arms. None seemed concerned about the crushing gravity or the electrical discharges in the atmosphere. Their tour of the facility was interrupted by a slight tremor. While the aliens froze in terror, the humans barely seemed to notice. "Oh, just a small earthquake," Tom explained, checking his device. "Only a 3.2 on the Richter scale. Nothing to worry about." "You mean your planet's crust regularly tears itself apart, and you consider this normal?" Reed asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Tom smiled again, leading them to a viewing area overlooking a city. "Captain, what you call danger, we call Tuesday. Look out there. See those buildings? They're designed to sway with the earthquakes. See those seawalls? They protect us from storms. Humans don't just survive here. We learn, we adapt, we build, and we thrive." As if to emphasize his point, a group of human children ran past the window, laughing and playing in what the alien sensors warned was dangerous precipitation called rain. For the first time in his long career, Captain Reed began to understand that perhaps his definition of dangerous needed some revision. These humans hadn't just survived on a death world. They had mastered it. And this was only the beginning of what he would learn about humanity's relationship with their terrifying home. The next morning, Captain Reed sat across from Dr. Miller in what humans called a coffee shop. He watched with fascination as humans casually drank their hot beverages, which his sensors indicated were near boiling point. "I must ask," Reed began, setting down his datapad, "why haven't your people tried to leave? Surely you know there are safer worlds out there." Tom took a sip of his coffee and looked out the window at the busy street. People were rushing about their day, some carrying umbrellas as dark clouds gathered overhead. "Let me tell you a story," Tom said, "about why we not only stay but love our dangerous world." He pulled out his tablet and showed Reed images of human history. "See this. This is how we lived 10,000 years ago. We were small tribes, facing massive predators, harsh winters, and scarce food. But instead of dying out, something amazing happened. The images changed to show human inventions through the ages. Every challenge Earth threw at us made us stronger, smarter. Cold weather, we invented fire and clothing. Dangerous animals, we created weapons and tools. Natural disasters, we built stronger homes." A loud crack of thunder made Reed jump, but none of the humans in the coffee shop even looked up from their conversations. "That's the thing about humans," Tom continued. "We don't just adapt. We turn problems into opportunities. Take our gravity, for example. You find it crushing, but it gave us dense muscles and strong bones. When we go to lower gravity worlds, we become naturally stronger than most species." Reed's scientific curiosity piqued. "But surely your children must be terrified of growing up in such conditions." Tom laughed and pointed outside to a nearby playground. Despite the approaching storm, children were still playing, their parents watching calmly from nearby benches. "Watch this," Tom said. A small child fell while running. Reed tensed, expecting tragedy. Instead, the child got up, laughed, and continued playing. "From the day we're born, we learn that falling down isn't the end. It's just a chance to get back up. Earth taught us that lesson. Every challenge is an opportunity to grow stronger." Tom showed more images. Humans climbing mountains, diving in oceans, even jumping from planes for something called fun. Other species evolved on worlds that were gentle and forgiving. They never needed to develop the drive the humans have. But Earth, she was a tough teacher. Every day was a test, every year a challenge. Reed noticed his hands trembling slightly from Earth's gravity. "And you never wanted to find an easier home." "Actually," Tom smiled, "we did experiment with creating perfect environments. We built climate-controlled cities, tried to eliminate all risks. Know what happened?" He showed Reed data from various human studies. People got weaker, sicker, depression rates went up. Turns out, humans need some level of stress and challenge to stay healthy. It's built into our DNA after millions of years of evolution on this death world. A group of emergency vehicles raced past the coffee shop, sirens blaring. None of the humans seemed concerned. "See those?" Tom pointed. "That's another thing Earth taught us. We don't just face dangers alone. We organize, we help each other, we plan ahead. Every challenge made our communities stronger." Reed looked at his datapad, then back at the humans around him. They were chatting, laughing, living their lives under conditions that would have most species in constant panic. "So you're saying," Reed tried to understand, "that humans don't just tolerate these conditions, you actually need them." "Exactly." Tom's eyes lit up. "Earth isn't just our home. She's our teacher, our challenge, our proving ground. Every storm we weather, every obstacle we overcome, it adds to who we are. Would you want to leave a home that made you one of the strongest, most adaptable species in the galaxy?" As if to punctuate his point, the rain finally began to fall. People outside simply opened their umbrellas or pulled up their hoods, continuing their daily lives under conditions that would shut down most civilized worlds. And for the first time, Reed began to understand that what his people called a death world, humans called the perfect home. The interview between Dr. Tom Miller and Captain Reed was suddenly interrupted by a low rumble. The coffee shop's floor began to shake, causing the alien captain to grip his chair in terror. "Earthquake!" Someone shouted, but there was no panic. Instead, what happened next amazed the alien visitors. The humans in the coffee shop smoothly moved into action, as if they had rehearsed this 1,000 times. Parents guided their children under sturdy tables. Baristas turned off their machines, and everyone remained remarkably calm as the building swayed. "This is a big one," Tom said casually, checking his phone. "Probably around 6.5 on the Richter scale. Don't worry, this building is designed to handle much worse." Captain Reed and his crew huddled together in fear as the ground continued to shake. Through the window, they watched in disbelief as the tall buildings of the city swayed like trees in the wind, but didn't fall. Within seconds, everyone's phones began buzzing with alerts. Tom showed his screen to Reed. "See, our early warning system gives us information about the quake's magnitude, epicenter, and potential tsunami risks. We've learned to live with Earth's moods." The shaking lasted for about 40 seconds, though to Reed it felt like hours. As soon as it stopped, something even more remarkable happened. The humans simply got up and went back to their routines, as if their world hadn't just tried to tear itself apart. Outside, emergency response teams were already in motion. Trucks with emergency response written on them rolled through the streets. Drones flew overhead, scanning buildings for damage. Police officers directed traffic around areas where they needed to check for problems. "Watch this," Tom said with pride. "This is why we thrive here." Through the window, they saw a small crack had formed in the sidewalk. Within minutes, a team arrived to check it. They marked the area, set up safety barriers, and began repairs immediately. "Our whole society is built around responding to challenges," Tom explained. "Every child knows earthquake safety by heart. Every building has multiple safety systems. Every citizen knows basic emergency procedures." As if to demonstrate, the coffee shop owner was already checking her shop's structural integrity points, marked by small indicators on the walls. The baristas were cleaning up a few fallen cups while joking about the excitement. Reed's communication device buzzed. His ship in orbit was demanding to know if they needed emergency evacuation. Before he could respond, another tremor hit. An aftershock. This time, Reed noticed something different. The humans didn't just react to the danger. They seemed almost energized by it. Emergency workers moved with purpose. Neighbors checked on each other. Some people even pulled out their phones to record the event, looking excited rather than scared. "I don't understand," Reed said, his voice shaking. "How can you be so calm?" Tom smiled and pointed to a group of children who were already making up a game about who could stand the steadiest during the aftershock. "See those kids? They're learning right now that they can face scary things and be okay. That's what Earth teaches us every day. We don't just survive disasters. We learn from them, adapt to them, and come out stronger." As the afternoon continued, Reed watched in amazement as the city seemed to heal itself. Roads were checked, buildings were inspected, and information flowed quickly to all citizens through their devices. Within hours, most signs of the earthquake had been addressed. On most worlds, Tom said, this would be considered a major disaster. Here, it's just another Wednesday. We'll study this quake, improve our buildings and response systems, and be even better prepared for the next one. Looking at the efficient, almost cheerful way the humans handled what his species would consider a catastrophic event, Reed finally understood something profound. These humans weren't just surviving on a death world. They had turned survival itself into an art form. And they were smiling while they did it. 1 week after the earthquake, Captain Reed stood before the Galactic Council presenting his findings about Earth. The massive council chamber was filled with representatives from hundreds of peaceful worlds, all listening with a mix of horror and fascination. "And so," Reed concluded, "we believe it's our moral duty to offer these humans sanctuary on our safer worlds. No species should have to live in such dangerous conditions." The council quickly agreed. They prepared their most beautiful paradise world, Eden 5, for human visitors. A group of 50 human volunteers, led by Dr. Tom Miller, agreed to try living there for 1 month. Eden 5 was perfect by galactic standards. The gravity was a gentle 0.3 of Earth's pull. The temperature stayed at a pleasant 22 degrees Celsius all year round. No earthquakes, no storms, no dangerous animals. The aliens were sure the humans would never want to leave. They were wrong. By the end of the first week, the problems began. The humans complained of feeling too light and floaty. Their muscles started to weaken in the low gravity. They spent hours in the artificial gravity chambers just to maintain their strength. "I can't sleep," one human told the alien doctors. "It's too quiet. No rain on the roof, no distant traffic, no wind in the trees. Just nothing." By the second week, the humans were creating their own challenges. They built obstacle courses. They started racing each other up mountains. Some even asked if they could import Earth animals to hunt. "We're bored," Tom explained to a confused Reed. "There's nothing to overcome, nothing to fight against, nothing to achieve. It's like living in a bubble." The third week brought more problems. The humans' bones started showing early signs of density loss. Their immune systems weakened without the constant challenges they were used to. But worst of all was their mental state. "You don't understand," a human athlete said during a medical check. "On Earth, every day I wake up and beat my previous record, lift a heavier weight, run a faster mile. Here, the most exciting thing I did today was watch the perfectly scheduled rain shower." The aliens were shocked to discover that humans had started gathering in groups to watch videos of Earth's weather events. They cheered at footage of thunderstorms and shared stories about their favorite natural disasters. "Look at this," Tom showed Reed a video of a tornado on his phone. "Isn't it beautiful? That's raw power. That's real nature. Here, even your clouds are manufactured." By the beginning of the fourth week, the humans had made their decision. They wanted to go home. "But we don't understand," the council members protested. "We've given you paradise. No dangers, no risks, no uncomfortable surprises." Tom stood before the council to explain. "That's exactly the problem. You've created a world without challenges, and in doing so, you've created a world without growth. On Earth, every challenge makes us stronger. Every storm teaches us resilience. Every earthquake shows us how to rebuild better." He showed them medical scans of the human visitors. "Look at what your paradise is doing to us. Our muscles are weakening. Our bones are getting brittle. Our minds are dulling from lack of stimulation." The council was stunned. They had never encountered a species that actually needed adversity to thrive. "On Earth," Tom continued, "we have a saying: smooth seas don't make skilled sailors. Your world is beautiful, but it's like a cage made of gold. We need the challenges our world provides. They're not just obstacles to overcome. They're the very things that make us human." As the humans prepared to return to Earth, Reed watched them pack with a new understanding. These strange creatures didn't just accept challenge, they craved it. Their deadly homeworld wasn't a prison they needed to escape from. It was their perfect training ground. After the failed Eden 5 experiment, the Galactic Council ordered a detailed study of human psychology. They sent their best scientists to Earth, led by Dr. Axis, their most experienced mind researcher. What they discovered shocked the entire galactic community. The research team set up their lab in what humans call the Rocky Mountains, a place that by alien standards should be uninhabitable. Yet humans had built homes, cities, and even ski resorts on these dangerous peaks. "Watch this," Tom said, pointing to a group of humans strapping boards to their feet. The aliens watched in horror as these people deliberately slid down snow-covered mountains at high speeds. "They're enjoying this?" Dr. Axis asked, checking his instruments. "Their brains are releasing pleasure chemicals while doing something so dangerous." "It gets better," Tom grinned. "Look over there." Another group of humans was climbing up the sheer face of a cliff with minimal equipment. Their brain scans showed not fear, but intense focus and excitement. The research team spent months studying human behavior across Earth. They watched children playing in playgrounds, taking risks and learning from falls. They observed firefighters running into burning buildings to save others. They studied athletes pushing their bodies to the limit. One day, while reviewing their data, Dr. Axis made a breakthrough. It's not just that they tolerate stress, he announced to the research team. They actually need it. Look at these brain patterns. He showed scans of human brains during various activities. During dangerous or challenging situations, human brains lit up with activity. New neural connections formed. Memory improved. Problem-solving abilities increased. But this is impossible, one alien researcher said. All other known species try to avoid stress. It damages them. Not humans, Dr. Axis replied. They've evolved something unique, the ability to grow stronger through stress. They call it adaptability. The team discovered that humans had sayings that reflected this unique trait. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and no pain, no gain. They found that human muscles got stronger when damaged by exercise. Human immune systems got better at fighting diseases after exposure to germs. Even human minds grew sharper when faced with difficult problems. It's like they're running on completely different software than the rest of us. Dr. Axis said, we avoid challenges to stay safe. They seek challenges to grow stronger. The research team visited a human hospital next. They watched in amazement as doctors deliberately broke and reset bones to make them heal stronger, as patients underwent physical therapy that caused short-term pain for long-term gain. Look at this, Tom showed them a history book. Every major disaster in our history led to better building codes, better warning systems, better emergency responses. We don't just survive challenges, we learn from them. Dr. Axis made another surprising discovery while studying human entertainment. Humans actually created artificial challenges when real ones weren't available. They played difficult games, solved puzzles, and participated in sports, all voluntary activities that involved struggle and stress. They even do this with their young. He noted, watching children play competitive games. They're training them to face challenges from an early age. The final report to the Galactic Council was revolutionary. It introduced a new concept, beneficial stress. The report explained that humans had evolved to not just survive stress, but to require it for optimal health. Think of humans like deep-sea creatures, Dr. Axis explained to the Council. Just as those creatures need the pressure of the ocean to survive, humans need the pressure of challenges to thrive. What we see as deadly stress, they see as necessary exercise for their bodies and minds. The Council was forced to revise their entire understanding of what made a planet habitable. Earth wasn't a death world that humans were trapped on. It was a perfect training ground that had forged one of the most adaptable species in the galaxy. And the humans wouldn't have it any other way. 6 months after the research findings were published, Earth became the most popular tourist destination in the galaxy. But not for the reasons anyone expected. Alien ships arrived daily, filled not with scientists or diplomats, but with thrill seekers and those looking to test their limits. The newest attraction in the galaxy wasn't a pleasure planet or a luxury resort. It was Earth's challenges. Tom stood at the base of Mount Everest, watching as a group of alien tourists prepared for their first climbing lesson. They wore specially designed suits to help them handle Earth's gravity and atmosphere. Remember, he told them, humans climb this mountain with much less equipment than you're using. We're not expecting you to do that, but it shows you what's possible. The aliens looked up at the snow-covered peak with a mixture of fear and excitement. One of them, a young explorer named Zix, stepped forward. On my world, we avoid heights, Zix said, adjusting his gravity suit. But after seeing humans do this, I want to know what it feels like to overcome something so challenging. Across the planet, similar scenes played out. Alien special forces trained alongside human military units, learning to operate in Earth's harsh conditions. Alien athletes came to train in Earth's gravity, knowing it would make them stronger when they returned home. Even the Galactic Defense Force started sending its recruits to Earth for what they called extreme environment training. Your world is the perfect training ground, the Defense Force commander told Tom during an inspection. 1 month here is worth a year of training anywhere else. But it wasn't just about physical challenges. Aliens began enrolling in human schools, fascinated by the way humans taught their children to solve problems and overcome obstacles. On our worlds, an alien teacher observed, "We protect our young from all challenges." But human children learn by facing small challenges early, preparing them for bigger ones later. The tourism industry adapted quickly. Hotels started offering Earth Challenge packages, carefully controlled experiences of Earth's various environments. Aliens could experience everything from desert survival to ocean diving, all under human guidance. One popular attraction was the Weather Experience Center, where aliens could safely feel the power of Earth's storms. They would stand in reinforced buildings as hurricanes passed by, or watch tornadoes from safe distances. It's terrifying, but amazing, one alien tourist said after experiencing their first thunderstorm. "I've never felt so alive." The most surprising development came when alien medical researchers discovered that controlled exposure to Earth's conditions could help cure certain alien ailments. Something about facing and overcoming challenges seemed to activate healing responses in various species. Human hospitals, Tom explained to a group of alien medical students, have always known that recovery requires pushing boundaries. Now we're learning this applies to other species too. Earth's reputation changed across the galaxy. What was once considered a deadly backwater became known as the Crucible of Strength. Aliens who completed even short stays on Earth wore special badges with pride. Even the entertainment industry changed. Alien viewers became obsessed with human sports and survival shows. They couldn't believe humans did such dangerous things for fun, yet they couldn't stop watching. One day, Tom received a call from Captain Reed, who had first discovered Earth all those months ago. "You were right," Reed said. "We've been looking at Challenge all wrong. My own children now want to visit Earth for their education year. Can you believe it?" Tom looked out his office window at the mixed groups of humans and aliens going about their day. Some aliens were jogging in weighted suits, trying to build up their strength. Others were taking classes in human emergency response techniques. "You know what the funny thing is?" Tom replied. "We never thought of Earth as special. We just knew it was home. But now we're helping the galaxy understand something important. That true strength comes from facing challenges, not avoiding them." And across Earth, humans continued their daily lives, proud that their death world was teaching the galaxy how to be stronger. 10 years after first contact, the Galactic Council held a special ceremony on Earth, something that would have been unthinkable a decade ago. The purpose? To officially change Earth's classification from Class 12 Death World to Prime Crucible World, Cradle of Strength. The ceremony took place at the newly built Galactic Exchange Center in New York, a massive building designed to withstand everything Earth could throw at it. Representatives from over 1,000 worlds attended, many wearing gravity suits to handle Earth's conditions. Tom stood at the podium, looking out at the mixed crowd of humans and aliens. Behind him, through giant windows, the city skyline stretched into the distance. Dark storm clouds gathered on the horizon. A perfect Earth welcome. 10 years ago, Tom began, a ship arrived above our planet, believing they had found a world too dangerous for intelligent life. Today, that same world has taught the galaxy a lesson we humans always knew. True strength comes from facing challenges, not running from them. The evidence was all around them. The Galactic University had opened its largest campus on Earth, with special programs in environmental adaptation and crisis management. Students from across the galaxy competed fiercely for spots in these programs. In the audience sat Captain Reed, now Admiral Reed, who headed the Galactic Exchange Program. His own children had graduated from Earth schools, part of the first generation of aliens to voluntarily spend their formative years on this once-feared world. "Look how far we've come," Tom continued, pointing to a group of alien athletes who had just completed the New York Marathon. In Earth gravity, what was once considered impossible is now a goal to strive for. The statistics spoke for themselves. Species that spent time on Earth showed improved problem-solving abilities, stronger immune systems, and better adaptability to change. Many alien worlds had started creating controlled Earth zones, areas that simulated Earth's conditions for training purposes. But perhaps the most significant change was in how the galaxy viewed challenge itself. The old way of avoiding all difficulty, of seeking only comfort and ease, was being questioned. A young alien student raised her hand during the question period. "My parents thought I was crazy to come study on Earth," she said. "But after 2 years here, I understand why humans love this world. Every day presents a new challenge, a new chance to prove yourself." The ceremony was briefly interrupted by the approaching storm. While in the past, this would have caused panic among the alien visitors, now they watched with interest as the human weather control system kicked in, guiding the storm's power without completely stopping it. "We've learned from humans that it's better to work with nature's challenges than to try to eliminate them completely," explained the alien architect who had helped design the building. As if to demonstrate this principle, the building subtly swayed with the storm winds, strong enough to handle the pressure, yet flexible enough to work with it rather than against it. Tom concluded his speech with a story that had become famous across the galaxy. A young alien asked a human child why they played on jungle gyms, knowing they might fall. The human child replied, "Because getting back up makes you stronger." That simple wisdom is now spreading across the stars. The ceremony ended with the unveiling of Earth's new planetary designation plaque. But just as the covers were pulled away, a strong tremor shook the building. Instead of panic, the alien audience broke into applause. They had learned enough about Earth to appreciate the perfect timing. This was Earth itself signing off on its new designation. The plaque read, "Earth, prime crucible world, where strength is born from challenge, where growth comes from adversity, where heroes learn to rise. Classification: the galaxy's training ground." As the storms passed and the tremors settled, humans and aliens alike stood together, knowing that this once-feared death world had become something much more important, a symbol of the strength that lies in facing challenges head-on. And somewhere up in orbit, a new ship was arriving, carrying more visitors eager to learn what this remarkable world had to teach.